a timeline of the ease in their imminent downfall. This is a video that was put up by the elder Manatazakbar, which have a lot of videos, very good videos. Subscribe and be edified. Matter of fact, they took down another page of his recently. Well, he put this up maybe a month ago. GMS South Carolina, 08. So you had a 02, 03, 04, 07. Then they finally took down the 07, which is the last one he had up. But he put a commercial in there to subscribe to this channel, entitled Genesis 33, verses 3 to 5 does not acquit Esau from judgment. And this clown right here, this apologist for the so-called white man. And see, they say like Vocab Malone, right? This is Desmond Ingram, right? This is this guy right here, this lost soul. Vocab Malone should know him. Urban apologetics. Hashtag. Apologist means apologize, meaning you an apologist for someone or something. You know, which means you're a defender. You're in the defense of what you believe in. And this comes from what Paul said, I am for the defense. I'm merely paraphrasing. I am for the defense of the gospel. Now, when you click on that word, the word there is apologia, which means apologist. Which means you defend. Paul defended the gospel. So they think they have the gospel. I don't know how long I'm gonna go. I just got a call from brothers. If I may get another call, I may have to cut it short, do a part 2. But let's see what the spirit, because it's Saturday, so we going out. So I'm kind of moving here and there. So, let's just start from the beginning. Okay, so this is a 45-minute, 25-second video. I didn't even get a chance to watch the whole thing because I heard him speak and I said, oh boy. And I wasn't even going to do a video on it, but what I did was I put I made it easy for myself. I just put in a word starting with E. You figure out the rest of the spelling. And with an M. And I just went down the line just to see where this man would end up in. And like I said, there was almost 90 precepts that came up with that word, Edom, in it. So this individual, by the way, this individual is going to go into the scripture to justify that Edomites can make it, where Vocab Malone says the Edomites are done away with. So why would you even discuss anything on Edom or the Edomites when all you guys, because you work with Vocab, all you guys said that the Edomites are done away with. So why even talk about it? Why even talk about the people being delivered? You're trying to fit Esau in there. When I mean, this is the easiest subject to debunk. I mean, it's easy. So let's listen, and then I'm going to read some precepts. I'm going to see how far I'm going to go with this. I may do a part 2. Let's see where the spirit takes me.
All right. Genesis 33, verse 5. It says this. It's on Esau and Jacob. He himself went on.
He knows who Esau is. They pretend, like Vocab would say, oh, David was ready. He was ready. So basically, Vocab is saying, if Esau still when Esau was on the scene, he's a brown skinned man, or he was red, but David was also red. So it was like David the Edomite. But like I said, why even bring this argument up to try to save somebody if they're done away with, if they're no more? Let's listen on.
Before them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And when Esau lifted up his eyes and saw the woman and children, he said, "Who are these with you?" Jacob said, "The children whom God has graciously given servants." See, what they want to tell you, you know what the camps want to tell you? They want to tell you that Esau and Jacob got cool. They'll say Esau, he always been the same. God hates Esau. They'll tell you.
Okay, you said they don't tell the Israelites, don't tell you that they got cool. Well, did they stay cool? That's the answer. That's the response to that. They got cool, but did they stay cool? We're gonna find out. And like I said, these dealing with these Christians is like, shooting ducks in a pond. Dealing with these Christians, so they're not even real Christians. They're not scholars. They're just emotional people that know a little something about the scriptures, because a lot of them went to a theological cemetery, and these theological cemeteries, or like I say cemetery, it's seminary. They don't teach prophecy. So if you ask Vocab to go into Revelation 17 verse 5 or whatever, or Revelation 9 verse 12 or 13 or 14 or 15, he'll get lost. So because they don't teach you prophetic, they don't give you the understanding or the break down the hermeneutics of these prophetic scriptures. So they're real easy. They're like whack-a-moles. You know what a whack-a-mole is, right? Whack-a-mole. They put their head up and you knock it back down with that mallet.
They'll take you to Obadiah and all that type of stuff. But the Bible tells us.
Yes, we will take it to Obadiah, because that's ultimately going to happen. You can't read the scriptures backwards. You can't start from Revelation and then go back and then go backwards. What he's reading from is Genesis 33, 3-5. He just mentioned Obadiah. And he said that's where they'll take you, of course, because they were cool at that time. But when you jump to Obadiah, it tells you what's going to happen to the Edomites, pursuant to the power of the Most High. Whether Jake, now let's say Jake still that's my brother, and I really love him. Well, the Most High is going to destroy him anyway, whether you love him or not. So let's listen to a little bit more.
The Bible tells us no. Jacob and Esau became cool. Israel and Esau became cool. That reconciliation was there.
So here we go with another video. All right. Getting right into the lesson. All praise to Yahawah, BaHa, YAHAWASHI.
I'll let this continue to play. The young elder will pretty much hit a lot of precepts that I might hit. Well, there's certain precepts that come to mind. So what I did was, let me do this. And even the Zandervan dictionary tells you that there's a great future judgment, that the Most High will ultimately not have mercy on Esau and that there's a great future judgment on him. So I went to the blue letter and I just typed in the word Edom. Edom is mentioned in the scriptures. Let me see if it's, and this is not even, well, mostly you're going to find it from Genesis to Malachi 1. So it's 87 times and 82 verses in the King James Version. And I'm not going to read all these precepts here, but I'll just go to the ones that I checked off. And we'll try to go pretty quick. I'm not going to make this a long lesson. Numbers 20, verse 14, and Moses sent messengers from Kadesh. Let's see how cool the Edomites were with us. This is after coming out of Egypt and in the wilderness for 40 years. It says that Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom, because they already established themselves being the king. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that have befallen us. And that travail is, we were in Egypt 40 years prior to this. And in that 40-year period, we were in the, people were saying, well, they're gone. The Lord destroyed them. Just like Vocab says the Edomites are done away with. Back then they were saying, oh, there's no more Israelites. The Lord took them out and he destroyed them. So it says, we're going to jump down to the 18th verse, same chapter, Numbers 20. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me or by my land, which this is the king talking to the messenger that Moses sent to the king of Edom, lest I come against thee with the sword. And that means with swords. I'm going to bring my army against you. So he said they were cool. There was a form of reconciliation. Well, were they cool now? So it goes on to say in the 20th verse, and he said, thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out, the Edomites came out against them with much people, other Edomites, and with a strong hand. What does it mean by a strong hand? A military force. They had swords, they had weapons. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage. He said, can we pass by your land? And they said no. Even Moses even said that if we take any water from the wells, we will pay you for it. We'll pay toll. He said, nah, hell no. So that whole Esau, Esau meeting Jacob and all that, and my brother Numsi is out the window with this right here. It says, thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. Now we're going to jump down to 24. This is the prophecy of Balaam that was given to Balak, the king of Moab. And now when you read that story, Moab wanted Israel cursed because when they came out, and like I said, scholars argue whether it was 6 million people, 1 million people, more than 6 million people. But it was a lot of people. And it had to be in the middle. Scholars will say it had to be at least 8 million. So when they saw those people coming, those other nations got shook. Remember. Now, it's not in the scriptures, or could be. I don't remember, but it was referenced that they will say that we were destroyed. Everybody got that precept, they can put it up. I'm not going to look for it. So it actually was said that the Israelites are done away with. Then all of a sudden, 40 years later, the Israelites pop up. And the people remember them. Edom remembered them. Moab, the king of Moab, remembered them. That's why he said, curse me this day, Israel, and I will pay you handsomely for it. It says, Edom shall be a possession. Ultimately, because what did Balaam see? He saw the future prophecy. He saw what John saw. He saw what Daniel saw. He saw what Jeremiah saw. He saw what Isaiah saw. He saw what the other prophets saw, dealing with the this destruction, this coming destruction. So Edom is still here. The Edomites are still here. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession, because we're going to take that land. So what's going to happen to those Edomites? We're going to spread them among Israelites. Like Jake, when they came over here, they didn't have a state that they went to. No, they were living in the slave quarters that Esau put them in. And there's a movie coming out with Will Smith called Emancipation. So I'm thinking about getting Apple TV, because you can watch on Apple TV, or you can go to the theaters. I'm not going to the theaters no more. I'm not into the theaters no more. So I haven't been in a theater in so long. I don't want to go in a dark place with a bunch of demons in it. Into a dark box with a bunch of demons I don't know to watch a movie. You don't know what's going to happen up in there. So I'll attempt to maybe get one of the brothers. Them brothers are in the Fire Sticks and Apple TV and all that. So I may get it, and I don't know when it's coming out, sometime in December. So if it's up, I don't know, we might get together and just have a watch party, and then have a discussion on it. And it's supposed to be based upon, when you go to them slave pictures, you know, that guy that got his back looked like his back looked like a road map. And that's an actual picture. And that's based on that guy. I believe he's supposed to be like a Benjaminite. And he just wouldn't bow down to Esau. And they kept whipping his ass. And they show that actual picture where he shows his back. So, you know, hey, another slave movie. You know us, we love slave movies, man. Because it gives us an excuse to be mad at Esau. And plus you got Will Smith, which he's a great actor. He just won an Oscar. You got to be a bad dude. You can slap the shit out of somebody, and then half an hour later, you get the Oscar. You's a bad dude. Anyway, Numbers 24 and 18. I'm having a little fun. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly, heroically. So this is the timeline of E. The Joshua 15:1. This then was a lot of the tribe of the children of Judah. This is the lot of the tribe of the sons of Judah by their family, even to the border of Edom. The wilderness. The first people that they encountered was the Edomites, because they were right next to the wilderness. They were north of the wilderness. And ultimately, we're gonna when the house of David is reestablished, we're gonna possess Edom, meaning we're gonna possess their land. Like I said, they're gonna be scattered. They're gonna be slaves. And after, we say 1,000 years, we're gonna gather them up, and we're gonna get rid of them. We're gonna burn them up. Our wilderness of Zin, Southwood was the utmost part of the south coast. Joshua 15 verse 21. And the utmost cities of the tribe of the sons of Judah, or YAHAWAH, toward the coast of Edom, southward, were Kibzil and Edar and Jagur. Judges 11:17. Then Israel sent messengers and into the king Edom, into the king of Edom, saying, let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom, so we're going back to Numbers, reflecting back on Numbers, would not hearken thereto, and in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent, and Israel abode in Kadesh. So they tried to go through Edom. They said, nah, you ain't coming through this way. Then they went to Moab. Nah, you ain't coming. There's no Moab. The Moabites and the Ammonites were north of Edom. So that's why you have that list of enemies in Psalms 83. So we're going to jump down to Second Samuel 8, verse 14. And he put garrisons. Ultimately, when the Most High established the first King Saul, then the second king, which is the established king of Israel on the earth, physical king. And he put garrisons in Edom, throughout all Edom. Put he garrisons. Another way of saying garrisons is precincts. They put walls around it. They put them in camps and camped about them. And they had them work, and they go back to their camps, which you have concentration camps. And see now, like if you live in the city, in New York, the 5 boroughs of New York, there's precincts. So there's no wall there, but there's like an invisible wall. You have this precinct, and you got the next jurisdiction, which is another precinct. There's different precincts. It says, and he put garrisons in Edom. And let me try something. Let me do it this way. Let me try garrison. Okay, so you see garrison 13 times. In Damascus, 2 Corinthians 11, verse 32, in Damascus, the governor under Aritz, the king, kept the city of the Damascenes with a garrison desirous to apprehend me. That's a precinct. Let's see if it's in the Apocrypha. I'm almost positive it is. Let's see. Let's find out. Yep. I knew it was in the book of Maccabees. I just wasn't sure. And that's there 10 times. So the king took Beth Shua and set a garrison there to keep it. First Maccabees 6, verse 50, First Maccabees 9, verse 51. And in them, as he set a garrison that they might work malice upon Israel. So we put them in garrisons, they put us in garrisons. Let me come over here. Let me go into the definition of the word garrison. A troop stationed in a forest or town to defend it. So a modern garrison will be a police precinct. Another word is jurisdiction. You go through a red light in New York, you go to New Jersey, New York, NYPD can't call the police in Jersey and say, look, this guy went through a red light in New York, pull him over and give him a ticket. As soon as it goes into court, they're going to say, the officer got to come in, and they're going to say, well, wait a minute, you're a Jersey officer. They're going to have to throw the case out because it's a thing of jurisdiction. That's why it says, what is that? Well, you got to read the 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendment. I believe it's the 13th Amendment. Not going to go to it, but it speaks about if you are subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. federal government and the state that you reside in, because all states are federal states. All state jurisdiction, they work out of D.C. So they really don't have any physical jurisdiction. The way to get jurisdiction over you is by adhesion contract, which they call an application. It's really a contract. So now we know what the word and I bet you read this and tell you what's a garrison. I don't know. Is that the devil? Is that another name for a demon? Because they don't know. You're going to find out that every run-of-the-mill Christian, they don't know the scriptures. They don't know the history. They don't know the prophecies. All they know is they'll go to the thing, the reverend will quote some, the preacher will quote some scriptures, and they'll do a praise break, and they'll play music. They don't understand the scriptures. That's why they had to get this clown, Vocab alone, that went to a theological cemetery to learn this, and he still can't deal with us, man. He's weak. That man's weak sauce. And he's learning how to be a better defender of that bullshit by following and learning our tactics. Okay, so 1 Kings 11, verse 14, and Yahawah stirred up an adversary unto Solomon. Hadad, the Edomite, he was a king's seed in Edom. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop right here. Like I said, I may do a part 2 of this, but we'll be talking about this today. We'll be going into Edom and how we're going to kick their asses in the future. And the Gentiles, what the Gentiles mean. We're going to go into that because this is always, brought up. Anyway, let me click on this. And back then, you got Edom, you got Israelites that look like other nations because we popped their women. Moses said, "Get the Midianites, kill the men, kill the women that are married, kill the boys." I believe it said kill the boys and save the little girls. Why did they save the little girls? So they can make them concubines. So I'm here at 1 Kings 11:14. I just read 14. It says the 15th verse, "For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was going up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom." It says, "For 6 months did Joab or YAHAWAH remain there with all Israel until with the military, until he had cut off every male in Edom." You notice it specified male because they saved the woman, because they took the woman and they popped them and they made them their concubines. It says that Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites. So it wasn't just him, it was other Edomites. We don't know if it was 200, we don't know if it was 1,000, a couple thousand, but there were some Edomites that escaped of his Edomites, certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. And now when you read the rest of the story, he met with he received refuge from the king of Pharaoh, the king Pharaoh of Egypt. And Pharaoh, I guess back then, it was like a thing to get with an Edomite to make your kid lighter. So they had a problem with that because this particular king, this particular Pharaoh, he allowed this young Edomite to get with the wife of this Pharaoh's sister, and they had at least one child. So you got, and you know, Esau, he put the seed all over the place too. So you got a handful of Hamites that are actually Edomites. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Like I said, I may do a part 2 of this because this is a big, vast subject. So last scripture that we read was 1 Kings 11 verse 14. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.